What if the reason you keep quitting has nothing to do with laziness and everything to do with how your brain was trained? Don't skip this video if you want to learn the secret on how to trick your brain into loving discipline. First, let me share a story that will rewire your brain. His name is Marcus, 26 years old, smart, ambitious, full of potential, and completely unable to follow through on anything. The gym bag sits by the door every morning, packed the night before, with the kind of hope that only lives at 11 p.m. The shoes are clean, the water bottle is filled, the playlist is ready. He never goes. The business notebook is full of ideas, sketches, numbers. His friends said it could actually work. He spent 3 weeks on it, hit one wall, and never went back. The 30-day writing challenge lasted 6 days, and every time he quit, something cracked a little deeper inside him. Not shame, something quieter and more dangerous than shame. Doubt. Doubt that the version of himself who wanted the goal was the same version that would ever show up to earn it. And that doubt didn't arrive like a storm. It crept in, settled into the small decisions, made starting feel heavier every single time. By the time Marcus is on his couch at 7:30 on a Tuesday, having skipped the gym again, avoided the work again, scrolled for an hour again, the doubt isn't even a feeling anymore. It's furniture. It's just part of the room. He almost accepts that, almost convinces himself this is just who he is. But one night, late, after 90 minutes of watching other people's highlight reels and feeling worse with every swipe, he puts the phone down, and in the quiet, he finally asks the right question. Not why am I so lazy, not what's wrong with me, but this: why do I keep quitting things I actually want? He thinks about the gym. He liked working out when he was there. He felt good after. So why did he stop? He thinks about the business idea. He still believed in it. So why did he go cold? He thinks about the writing challenge. He quit on day 6, not day 1 when it was hard. Day 6 when it was actually starting to feel like something. And slowly, like pressing a bruise he didn't know was there, he finds the answer. It wasn't the gym. It wasn't the business. It wasn't the writing. It was the gap. Every time he started something, he started it with a massive vision of who he would become. And within days, the gap between where he was and where that vision lived became so vast, so impossible, that his brain did what it was designed to do. It decided, you're going to fail. And it started protecting him from that feeling. His brain didn't hate discipline. It had simply run the experiment dozens of times and kept getting the same result. Effort leads to falling short. Falling short leads to that feeling, and that feeling is something worth avoiding. So it made starting feel dangerous. Marcus sits with this for a long time. The refrigerator hums. Outside, a car passes, and then he makes a decision so small it almost feels like giving up. No more big goals. 1 push-up, every day, for 30 days. That's it. Some part of him laughs. 1 push-up? That's the turnaround? That's embarrassing. That is not how you change a life. But he does it anyway. The next morning, still in the dark, still in his sleep clothes, he drops to the floor and does 1 push-up. Then he finds an old blank calendar and draws a single X on day 1. He stares at it, and something shifts. Not dramatically, not emotionally, but quietly and specifically. It feels true. Something was started and something was finished, and there was no way to fail, because the bar was so low it was basically on the ground. Day 2, 1 push-up. X. Day 3, 1 push-up. X. By day 7, he stops debating it. The morning comes, and he just does it. No negotiation, no internal argument, just the X. By day 9, he almost skips the 1 page of writing he added. He's tired, it's late, nobody will ever read it. But he sits down and writes the page anyway, and marks the X. Because this is the part most people miss. The goal was never the push-up. The goal was to teach his brain something new, that effort leads to winning, small winning, embarrassingly small winning, but winning. And the brain doesn't know the difference between a small win and a big one. It registers a win as a win. It stores it. It says, the last time we tried this, we won. The fear starts to shrink. By day 14, he has 14 consecutive X's on a calendar. He has never done that in his life. He doesn't call anyone. He just sits there and feels the weight of what that actually means. Not 14 push-ups, but 14 days of keeping a promise to himself. That is not a small thing. That is the whole thing. Months later, Marcus is not perfect. He still hears the voice. He still, occasionally, negotiates with himself at 5:30 a.m. But the negotiation is shorter now, because on the other side of it is not a broken promise. It's a streak worth protecting. He opens the business notebook. He goes back to the gym. He finishes things. Not because he became a different person, but because he gathered enough proof that he finally believed the person he already was. Here is the lesson. Your brain does not hate discipline, it hates losing. Every time you set a goal so big it collapses before it starts, your brain learns that effort leads to failure, and it protects you by making you avoid trying. The trick is not to push harder. The trick is to make the goal so small that winning is guaranteed. Lower the bar until your brain has no reason to resist. Then win. Every day, quietly, without applause, because discipline is not a personality trait. It is a skill, and it is built the same way every skill is built, by doing the thing, one day at a time, until doing it is simply who you are. You don't need a new system. You don't need more motivation. You just need one small win today, then another one tomorrow. Pick one thing, the smallest version that still counts, something you can do in 2 minutes or less, every single day. Write it down. Start today. Mark the X. And if this story stayed with you, subscribe to this channel, drop a comment with your one thing, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. The first X is waiting. Go mark it.